During her journeys around the world, Karina, the adventurous little girl, managed to discover incredible treasures, such as the tusk of the 10-headed serpent or the diamond of the king of the Magi. Oh, she had exhilarating moments. There are many stories about everything this girl did, but there is one in particular that stands out from all of them. The little adventurer traveled far, far from her home, to find a wonderful treasure that was hidden in the jungle. This is what happened. This was a day of celebration because Adventure City was turning 50 years since it was created, and things were going quite well. The dragons made parties in the sky, creating beautiful shapes in the clouds using their fire, lions taught cats to meow louder, fairies blew magic bubbles for children to pop, and the rest danced, ate delicious candies, and laughed out loud. Karina and her friends were having a great time. Those were her favorite days of the year because it was celebrating that 50 years ago all creatures had come together to live in peace. Humans, animals, and magical beings were now like brothers, and this was something that everyone should be proud of. There were no longer wars, there were no longer knights fighting dragons, there was no need to fight. Now life was beautiful. In the middle of the celebration, a large group of unicorns galloped to the center of Adventure City, where they all danced and laughed. If it was very strange to see a unicorn, finding so many together was incredible. Everyone in the place stopped talking, surprised, and paid attention. The biggest unicorn of all walked to the front. His mane was golden, his nose white, and his skin shone with the reflection of the sun. That unicorn said, "Hello, residents of Adventure City. My name is Zalruk, and I am the king of the unicorns. We heard you were celebrating, and we decided to come to join you. Before joining the dances, however, I want to tell you the story of how this city was founded. I was present at that time." Karina and everyone else came over to hear what Zalruk, the king of unicorns, was saying. His voice was powerful, and they couldn't stop looking at him. It was an amazing creature. Zalruk continued. 50 years ago, nobody in this world got along with each other. Fairies disliked bears because they were too hairy, dragons didn't like men because they always wanted to rescue their princesses, beavers didn't like mermaids, and, in general, all species preferred to live alone. It was a very frustrating world because there were always silly fights. However, one day a hero came to change this situation. A little goblin climbed the highest mountain in the world, Skyscraper Peak, and blew a great horn like a trumpet. That sound was so horrible and chilling that everyone stopped fighting and turned to where the goblin was. From there, he yelled, "Don't you realize that we could all live better if we were together? We could have the greatest city of all, one where all creatures live in peace. Think carefully about my words, or I will do something that none of you will like. I will play this nasty horn all day and all night, and I promise you will not be able to sleep if that happens." With this, the little goblin disappeared and was never seen again. Nobody knows his name or where he came from, but everyone followed his words and founded what we know today as Adventure City, the greatest city of all time. Karina, her friends, and the rest of the townspeople clapped loudly. That story was incredible. The little adventurer, however, was curious about one thing, so she asked, "Hey, King Zalruk, what happened to the horn? Such an important item for Adventure City should be kept in a museum." The unicorn replied, "Oh, little one, I have wanted that for many years, but we have never been able to find it. It is said that the horn is hidden inside the jungle where no one dares to go. There is only one brave adventurer among us." Karina was filled with enthusiasm and yelled, "I'll be the one looking for that horn myself. Keep up your party. I'll travel to that jungle and get that horn for all of us." Zalruk, the unicorn, and the rest of the inhabitants of Adventure City were delighted with this news and continued to celebrate. Karina asked her friend Bethany to take her to the where nobody dares to go jungle. After a long, long journey, they were both there. The little adventurer asked, "Hey, Beth, would you like to go in there with me? This might be a fun adventure." The dragon shook her head nervously. "No, friend, this time I cannot go with you. I have a great fear of the jungles and more of those that no one dares to go. However, I promise you one thing. I will be here waiting for you to return home when you finish your adventure. Good luck, I love you with my heart." Then the little adventurer said goodbye to her friend with a warm hug and immersed herself in that mysterious jungle. She walked down a long path, full of multicolored flowers and strange plants. Above it was tall palm trees that got lost in the sky and beautiful trees full of fruits that looked delicious. Karina walked and walked for a long time, jumping over huge holes, carefully climbing some steep hills, and with each step, she plunged deeper and deeper into the jungle. This was a huge place. If she weren't an experienced adventurer, she would have had gotten lost. However, after a long time of exploring, Karina found what she was looking for. In the middle of a small ankle-deep lake, a majestic horn was placed on a pedestal. Karina approached, overcome by emotion, but when she was about to take it, she heard that they said to her, "What are you doing here, girl? Why are you taking that horn without permission?" Karina turned around and found a goblin as small as her. The adventurer replied, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Goblin. I entered the Where No One Dares to Go jungle looking for the horn that a hero blew on the day they founded the place where I live, Adventure City. I didn't know it had an owner." The goblin smiled in surprise. "Hero? Do you consider me a hero? What I did was to blow that to stop your rampage." Karina's eyes were sparkling, she couldn't believe it. "You were the goblin who blew the horn? It can't be, this is amazing. What is your name? You are responsible for all the creatures living in peace in Adventure City. You are a great hero. Why did you disappear?" The goblin put his hands to his head, and he looked nervous. He replied, "My name is Ferdinand, and I am a small goblin like any other. I did not know that I had achieved something so incredible, which makes me happy. What happens is that I am shy, and I do not like being around people. That horn is the tool I use to ward off everyone who approaches the Where No One Dares to Go jungle. I was the one who named it, by the way. When I play it, its horrifying sound makes everyone run away in terror." Karina took the globin's hand and said, "Ferdinand, I want you to know that it is an honor for me to meet you. Today everyone is celebrating what you achieved, and I think it would be a shame if you missed that beautiful party just because of your shyness. You deserve all the applause, hugs, smiles, and gifts in the world, and I know that in Adventure City, you will get them. Come with me, please. Dare to leave for a while, I promise you will eat so much cake that you will want to stay there with us forever." The little goblin thought about it for a moment. He spun in circles, took a shaky breath, sighed, and then went for the horn. When he took it, he said to Karina, "Yes, okay, I'll go with you." Then the little adventurer and the goblin left the Where No One Dares to Go jungle and climbed on Bethany's back to return to Adventure City. When they arrived, Karina approached everyone with the horn and with Ferdinand and said, "I've managed to get 2 treasures instead of 1. Not only did I bring this wonderful horn, but I also found the hero who united us 50 years ago and managed to bring him here. Say hello to Ferdinand, the goblin." Zalaruk, the Unicorn King, recognized that he was, indeed, the hero who climbed Skyscraper Peak 50 years ago, and soon all the inhabitants came out to embrace him, showering him with gifts and smiles that warmed his heart. Such was the emotion at that moment that Karina took the horn to her mouth and, by mistake, blew it. That was a horrifying sound. She felt some shame, but the creatures of Adventure City only laughed at this. When Ferdinand was finally free of all attention, he approached Karina and said, "Little one, I thank you for bringing me here. I didn't know I was a hero, and I didn't know how much I liked people. I've always been very shy, but I think I'll move here to live close to everyone. I'll try to be more outgoing, and I won't disappear again." Karina and Ferdinand became good friends. The goblin had a huge castle built in the center of Adventure City, and the little girl was proud of herself. Without knowing it, she had managed to brighten someone's life. Everyone in that beautiful place continued to live in peace, and they were happy ever after.